Tomorrow, the Youngstown Plan is expected to go into effect. It's a law that's divided local leaders and has people wondering what it means for Youngstown City Schools. It's a story First News has been covering since lawmakers introduced and passed a bill.
This is a WKBN 27 First News special report.
Good evening, I'm Matt Horn with this 27 First News special report. The search for missing 2-year-old Rain Peterson has grown over the last 24 hours. Police have issued an endangered missing child alert for the toddler. Now here's a picture of Rain Peterson. She is 3 feet tall with brown hair and brown eyes, weighing 24 pounds. She's been missing since 6:30 last night from her great-grandparents' home on State Route 45 in North Bloomfield. She was wearing a purple long-sleeved shirt, gray pants, and a multicolored pink and lime green shoes. Now here's a map to show where the girl went missing from. You can see there are a lot of trees in the area that she went missing from. On top of that, the rainy weather has made things very difficult for searchers today. Now we've learned investigators are performing lie detector tests on family members during their search, and investigators have even questioned sex offenders living near the great-grandparents' home to see if they have any connections with the missing girl. 27 First News reporter James Santelli is live from Bristolville with the latest information. James, what's new out there? A 39-year-old man was taken to the hospital after being shot at a late-night birthday party. It happened.
WKBN 27 First News starts now with breaking news.
Yeah, we start with that breaking news right now out of Trumbull County, where 2-year-old Rain Peterson was found just a few minutes ago. That is confirmed by Sheriff Tom Altier out of Trumbull County. Now we are working to find more information about how she was found, where she was found, but we do know that she was found about a quarter of a mile away from her great-grandparents' house. Again, this is breaking news, and we got this information here within the last 20 minutes. Now this is something that we've been covering for the last 24 hours. Rain Peterson was first announced that she was missing Friday evening around 6:30 in the evening, and since then the FBI, Ohio Bureau of Criminal Investigations, along with multiple different police agencies across the entire state, have been active in that search for Rain Peterson. And again, we can confirm that she is alive and she is doing well, and we know that that is something that is definitely good news for everybody who has been searching for that young child. Now, this is something that we'll have Nadine Grimley. She is actually up in Trumbull County right now, continuing to gather new information about what happened, what went into the process of finding Rain Peterson. As soon as we get that information, we'll have it updated here online. But in the meantime, we're going to go ahead and toss it out to the Barry Dingles live drawing coverage here on our web stream here on WKBN.com. We'll be back here in the studio here in just a few minutes with the latest information.
Starts now with breaking news.
And we start off with that breaking news tonight out of Lawrence County. Bessemer's police chief was killed at his home on Gardner Center Road in Shenango Township earlier today while cleaning his gun. Pennsylvania State Police tell WKBN Chief Thomas Marquis was at home while cleaning a .40 caliber pistol around 2 this afternoon. The gun went off and hit him in the lower part of his chest. We know that the chief is a retired Newcastle police officer and has been serving as chief in Bessemer since he retired from Newcastle. You know that more than half of all middle schools and high schools in Ohio start before 8 o'clock in the morning.
Gosh, I can't even imagine. She was probably shaking because she was probably so nervous. I know that you had asked, asked if I had bought a ticket, and I know that other people were, I should have bought my ticket today.
That's right. You would have had that 1 in 565,000 chance to be a part of that jackpot.
Exactly. Well, good news for Molly tonight. Thanks, James.
And Eric, it sounds like this teenager is going to have a long recovery ahead of him.
Yeah, Erica, it's still a very active scene right now in the 100 block of Princeton here on the south side of Youngstown. Taking a look behind me, you can see that firefighters are still battling this blaze that's been going on for about the last hour or so. Neighbors have told us that the house that you see right in front of you, or what's left of the house right in front of us, was a vacant house. But the house is really close to 2 neighboring houses. The house on the right, they're spraying water on it right now. That house, we're told, is also a vacant house. Now, firefighters have been inside of there trying to make sure that the fire doesn't spread. And as you can see on camera right now, they have the ladder truck out here spraying water on both to the house to the right and also the vacant house that is pretty much burnt to the ground right now. Now, while this is going on, there is actually a third house which was on the left of the main fire. That house actually has people living inside of it. Now, my photojournalist, he's been out here since the fire, shortly after the fire had started, and he said that the firefighters were working very quickly to make sure they protected that house and also the people who are living there. Now, at the same time, you can see right in front of us, Ohio Edison is out here getting ready to turn the power off to these properties as firefighters continue to battle the flames here. Now, this, of course, is a story that we will continue to follow all evening long, so you can expect to look for updates later in this newscast and also on 27 First News tonight at 11.
Evidence Megan's family gave to investigators, 2 27-year-old men are behind bars in connection with her death. Her family says it's not closure, but it's a step in the right direction. On a table just feet away from Myra and David Fitzgerald sits a picture of their 24-year-old daughter, Megan.
She was a very special person.
For months, Megan battled her addiction to heroin.
She fought an endless battle every day.
She went to rehab for 3 months in Tennessee, but a bad batch in April killed her. An autopsy ruled out the cause of death wasn't heroin. Instead, it was a deadly dose of the narcotic fentanyl.
My husband found her right over there, bent over.
Megan's family quickly worked with the Trumbull-Ashtabula Drug Task Force to find those responsible.
All they wanted to see was that that there was another person that was saved. That was their interest.
Today, 27-year-old Maurice Bryant was arraigned on multiple charges related to Megan's death, including drug trafficking, corrupting another with drugs, and involuntary manslaughter. 27-year-old Craig Liebel also faces drug trafficking charges.
This is definitely not closure for us, but it's a piece of the puzzle.
Megan is just one of many faces across the valley who have battled and died this year from a heroin addiction. In Trumbull County alone, there have been at least 40 overdose deaths this year, making it one of the highest in Northeast Ohio.
We just never thought it'd be Megan.
And as Myra stands across the room from the urn holding Megan's ashes, she reminisces.
She put her arms around me and pat me on the head and say, "My little mama." And I think that's what I miss the most, but it makes me smile too.
Our team coverage continues tonight at 11 as the search continues tonight for missing 2-year-old Rain Peterson.
Feels like a piece of me is lost and missing.
Her family and police have been searching for the little girl nonstop.
I just want to make it perfectly clear that this is still an active search.
Until investigators and the family find out what happened to Rain Peterson.
WKBN 27 First News starts now with breaking
I
news.
can't sleep because I worry. My heart it's just aching.
A family continues to grieve this evening as the search for missing 2-year-old Rain Peterson has just recently been called off because it got too dark to see tonight. Now it will continue in the morning when the sun comes up. Here's a picture of little Rain Peterson. She's been missing since 6:30 last night from her home on State Route 45 in North Bloomfield. She was wearing a purple long-sleeved shirt, gray pants, and multicolored pink and lime green shoes. Police tell 27 First News Rain's siblings were the last 2 people to actually see her. Now here's a map to show you the area from where the girl went missing. You can see there are a lot of trees near the house. And on top of that, the rainy weather has made things very difficult for searchers today. WKBN has had team coverage on this story both on air and online. First News reporters James Santelli and Derek Lewis will have different angles on the search for tonight. Now officers in Trumbull County have been looking across the area for the missing girl. The FBI, Ohio Bureau of Criminal Investigations, and the U.S. Marshal's Office have all been called in to help. 27 First News reporter James Santelli has the latest on the efforts to find the missing girl. He kicks off our team coverage live tonight from Bristolville. Thanks, James. And like we've said, the search for Rain Peterson has been going on for a little more than 24 hours now. Peterson was last seen at 6:30 Friday evening by her siblings, and her family called police an hour later. By this afternoon, police said that they could confirm the girl was not anywhere inside of the house. Search dogs were brought up from Columbus to help in the search, and family and police have been searching door to door since she went missing yesterday. Rain Peterson's mother, Brandy Peterson, found out her child was missing moments after her grandparents couldn't find her. 27 First News reporter Derek Lewis spoke to the devastated mother of 3 who has no idea where her only daughter is right now. Derek continues our team coverage.
It's the worst feeling in the world.
Brandy Peterson got a call from her grandparents around 7 o'clock Friday night that her daughter was missing.
I raced to my house immediately.
She says that's when the sheriffs told her that a search was on to find her little girl, Rain Peterson. Rain was last seen with her two brothers downstairs in the basement.
Sissy went upstairs to go to Grandma, and Sissy disappeared. They didn't see anything. They didn't hear anything. They were in the basement playing, and she was down there with them, and she went upstairs, and she just vanished into thin air.
Brandy hasn't been able to sleep since getting the news.
It's a really miserable feeling for a parent to have a child out there and you don't know where she is and if she's cold or hungry.
Investigators say a door in the house leading to the garage was unlocked and the garage door was popped open. Brandy says she knows her 2-year-old daughter didn't leave on her own.
I don't believe that she is strong enough or tall enough when her two brothers are older and they have a hard time opening the door themselves.
While the 24-year-old mother doesn't know where Rain is, she's hoping her only daughter, who means the world to her, comes back home.
Feels like a piece of me is lost and missing, and I don't know where it is, and I don't know what to do to find her.
In Bristolville, Derek Lewis, WKBN 27 First News.
Thanks, Derek. And WKBN has learned investigators have also got in touch with sex offenders living in the area to question them about Rain. Now, we wanted to find out how many sex offenders live near the house of the missing girl. And here's a map showing 6 sex offenders living at 5 different locations within a 5-mile radius. The family house is in blue. The sex offenders' houses are in red. Investigators were trying to see if there were any connections involved between those. Now we're going to continue our team coverage on this breaking news story. We'll check back in a little bit later with James for any new developments. You can also go to our website, WKBN.com, for the latest information 24 hours a day. And like James mentioned, one of the other big things investigators and search teams have been dealing with today is the rain that was moving across the valley. Now we're going to check in with meteorologist Alex George to see if things will clear up for the second half of the weekend. Good evening, Alex. People, including the guy who made that phone call and also the 911 dispatchers, they say they're all happy and relieved that rain was found yesterday evening, and that 911 call helped bring her here to Rose and Warren. It was this 911 call.
Hey, I found baby Rain and she's alive.
Where is she? Where are you at?
I'm on Peck Leach.
That turned a possibly tragic story to a story with a happy ending. Victor Sutton is the man who found Rain Peterson just before 6:30 Sunday evening, less than a mile away from her great-grandparents' home.
I could see her hair, and then obviously she wasn't moving, so I thought this is, worst case scenario.
But Sutton yelled the child's name. He quickly figured out she was just sleeping.
She shook, she lifted her head, she turned and she looked at me and she sat up. And so I went literally from devastation to euphoria in about 3 seconds.
Sutton called 911 for help. Paula Ray is the person who answered that call.
You're okay, sweetheart. I swear you're going to be okay.
Is she? Can I hear? Is that her I hear?
She's just crying, yes.
Okay, I hear her.
God.
Oh, I just got goosebumps.
Oh, my God, me too. I couldn't give up on this kid. Thank God.
It was body-wide goosebumps. I could feel the hair on the back of my neck just stand up a little bit.
Ray quickly let others at the Trumbull County 911 call center know the good news.
I was just thrilled to be the one to pick up that phone.
Dispatcher Tiffany Alberini was one of the people who helped get police to where Peterson was found.
The call came in and everybody just kind of got quiet for a second, and then you hear him just say, "I have the little girl in it."
The call was very special for Alberini. She's still in training at the Trumbull County 911 Center.
It's not something I'll forget anytime soon.
Alberini says Sutton's quick actions are heroic.
The gentleman that found her is he's a hero.
I'm no saint, but it's nice to do well for other people.
Yeah, Sutton says those dispatchers were extremely helpful in that entire process. Now, when he was asked tonight whether or not he wanted to be reunited with Rain again, he says possibly after the dust settles with this entire investigation and after she is released from the hospital.